This is Tony McArthur in London with John Lennon. Every time the Beatles release an LP or a single, the pop music business usually changes direction. The changes instigated by their latest contribution, Abbey Road, will most certainly be noticed. In this show, John exclusively discusses the new Beatles collection, track by track.
Well, John, the first track on the LP is the Come Together song, which is your vocal, and is it in fact you wrote the song as well?
Yes.
I've heard whispers that it will be the next American single.
No, if anything, it might be the B-side. I think we'd probably put Something out as a single out there. I think that's about the best track on the album, actually, George's track. And they had it, you know how they always get our records before they're out over there somehow. We've got a spy in England who sends them the tapes.
Right.
And they were playing something so much, they had an advance thing of it. They're red hot for it over there, so we'll probably release it over there as a single. I don't know what will happen here.
Now, the Come Together side is a fairly different song as far as the group's concerned.
The Come Together track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, you know. I mean, I think it's pretty funky, you know. I'm biased because it's my song. I dig it, you know. And it just happened well, you know. It's a nice funky sound on it.
What was the effect right at the beginning? We're going to hear in a minute. Right at the beginning, the sort of whistling tone.
Oh, it's me going on tape echo.
All right, and sort of compressed then, isn't it?
No, it's not compressed. It's just I'm sort of going through my hands like that.
Next track is the one that we were talking about a moment ago, which is Something, and I'm sure I agree that both George's songs on this LP are probably the most commercially he's written.
Yeah.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it's very good, you know, because they're not sort of the good commercial, you know. They're still funky tracks, both of them, you know.
Yes, well, I'd imagine there'll be quite a few cover versions, as always, for singles off this LP, and it would seem that...
Well, we'll get the first cover out, that's the point, you know, of something.
And that'll be the one in America.
Yeah,
so...
White Trash have just done, what's the one? Golden Slumbers from the B-side of the track. Part of the sort of medley part.
Yes.
So they made quite a good version of that and get a plug in for White Trash.
Why not? Oh, well, this is... If you go through the LP from top to bottom, it's Paul's first contribution, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, which is I don't know, it's fairly typical of a lot of songs Paul's written, John, do you think?
Yeah, it's a typical McCartney sing-along, or whatever you call them. No. He did quite a lot of work on it. I was ill after the accident when they did most of that track. And I believe he really ground George and Ringo into the ground recording it, you know.
Now that you're all obviously occupied in diverse facets of the business, are there any tracks that any of you sort of have done on your own, completely on your own on this LP, or have they been a collective effort at some point?
Not really. I wasn't on Maxwell. I think I was on everything else, you know. I was just away for that.
It seems, John, that there's a very strong melodic tone. I think there always has been to your music, but in the context of other music that's going on today, Abbey Road has got a lot of very strong melody lines, and I think it's probably not as powerful electronically as say, your last LP or the Pepper outing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, you know. What about the end of I Want You, you know?
True.
Couldn't get heavier than that, really.
Yeah. But this, and of course this track, the next one, Oh Darling, is
oh yeah, that's...
sort of 58 job, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we like that stuff, you know. Oh, darling.
So this probably ties in with your recent outing in Canada, where you really got to
the rock and roll revival, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fantastic seeing. Yeah.
What actually happened there? Was this a regular rock and roll type concert?
Yeah, they had Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, umpteen others, and the Plastic Ono Band, which is me, Yoko, Eric Clapton, Klaus Voormann, the Manfred Man, and Alan White from Alan Price, or ex-Alan Price.
And you did all rock and roll songs?
Well, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, I don't know the words to any songs. I knew Blue Suede Shoes from the 50s, you know. So we did Blue Suede Shoes, Money, Dizzy. We did give Peace a Chance on a new song I'd written, Cold Turkey. And we really blew it, you know. It was great seeing.
It wasn't going back. It wasn't like revival. What we did was like...
Yeah, we progressed. I think we were the only progressives on it, you know. Because we ended up with a complete freak out with Yoko taking over, you know. And Eric and all of us just blowing the amplifiers as much as they'd go, you know.
And was there any rehearsal involved in this, or did you do that when you got
We
there?
tried to rehearse on the plane, but it was impossible. You know, we couldn't hear a thing because we didn't have any amps. And then we did one run through at the backstage. We went right through the numbers once. But the group are so funky, you know, they just picked it up, you know.
And is there any chance of this being a nucleus of a permanent plastic Ono band? Or?
It could be, you know, but I mean, everybody's sort of contracted and all things like that, I suppose, Eric and everything. But I think the plastic Ono band's going to be pretty flexible, you know, because it's plastic.
But it is quite possible. I mean, it's going to be a reality from now on, the plastic Ono band.
Yeah, until we get fed up with it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it at the moment, you know. We made no plans to go to Toronto. A guy rang up and I thought, who'll come and play live with me, you know? And they were the guys. You know.
Is there any chance of the Beatles playing live again?
I don't know, there's always a chance, you know, but the Beatles playing live is a different matter, you know. We got that great thing to live up to. You know, it's a
Yes.
harder gig, but just for me and Yoko to go out, you know, we can get away with anything. I hope.
Ringo's track is the next one, the Octopus's Garden, which reminded me, for some reason, of the Yellow Submarine cartoon film.
Yeah, well, I think it's the bubble, you know, and the fact that it's under the sea bit.
I suppose it is, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any other connection.
No, except it's about the bottom of the sea, you know, and getting away from it all.
And this is, in fact, the only song that Ringo wrote.
Yeah, well,
on the LP.
it'll be a few years before his production is going as fast as ours. It took George a few years.
And is this the only track on the LP that Ringo sings on as well, John?
Yeah, I think he does a bit of harmony here and there, because at the time I was away, they laid a few harmony tracks on some of the medley bit.
Oh, yes.
You know, so I think Ringo's doing a bit of harmony here and there too.
It's a sing-along sort of song.
It's
Not
a
unlike-
ring-along, sing-along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Yes, very good,
Yes,
folks.
yes.
I Want You, She's So Heavy.
Correct.
Right. I suppose it is the heaviest track on the LP, if we're going to get into that,
Yeah.
that bagism, as it were.
Yeah. It's pretty heavy, the ending, you know. Could we use the Moog synthesizer on it?
Oh, that's what all that
Yes,
electronic
yeah, and
bit
it's
is.
the range of the sound is from, you know, minus whatever to way over where you can't hear it. You know, that machine, the Moog synthesizer can do all sound, you know, all ranges of sound. So we did that on the end. So if you're a dog, you could hear a lot more.
So any dogs listening, we'll get this together.
Yes.
John, when you speak about playing the Moog synthesizer, I understand that there are or is a
It's
guy
like
in the
a
States
robot, you know.
who gets it together.
Yeah, George can work it a bit, you know. I mean, it'll take you all your life to learn all the variations on it. But George has got one, and a few people in England have got them, and they're just sort of experimenting with them. He used it on the Billy Preston LP, and it also plays the solo in Because, and I think in Maxwell it comes in too. It's here and there on the album, you know.
So it's a matter of just sort of phasing it out to the sort of music you're doing at the time, is it? Or?
Yes, you can make it play anything, you know, any style or any, you know, freaky or just plain, you know. It sounds like trumpets and things if you
Yeah.
want it to.
Can it in fact be sort of set to play a particular pattern?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it just can go off on its own, you know. I mean, you could get it to play Hare Krishna on its own forever, you know, and see what happened to it.
Yeah, well, it sort of holds frightening prospects of a Moog synthesizer concert at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be a great plastic Ono band, you know, with a Moog synthesizer that just went on and sang and played everything on its own.
Because I suppose, you know, technically the notes would be all perfect anyhow, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they just need one guy to switch it on, you know.
And then leave and
Yeah.
go and collect the tickets on the door.
Yes.
And well, at this point we sort of get to turn the record over, and the second George Harrison track is Here Comes the Sun, which is again another very catchy melodic song.
Yeah, it reminds me of sort of Buddy Holly in a way, you know.
Yes, I see what you mean. It's certainly that very strong melody line again. Is there any, I don't suppose there is any reason for when people write songs, but it seems such a dramatic change for George.
I don't know, you know. I mean, it's just the way he's progressing. He's writing all kinds of songs, you know. I mean, once the door opens, it's the floodgates open, you know. You can't sort of... It's an effort to concentrate on writing certain kinds of songs, you know. Like, I prefer writing just non-melodic straight rock. But I can't help writing other things, and I think that applies to all of us. Just the songs just come out,
John, when you got this LP together, did you select from like a large number of tracks, or did you virtually have a,
Not from a large number of tracks, from a large number of songs, you see. Each of us have got, maybe about 10 songs to contribute to an album. You can't get them all on, so when it's your turn to record, as it were, you've got to sort of pick the one you want on most, really.
And so then, I suppose it gets to a point of musical balance of the LP too, does it? Or?
Yeah, it gets into that.
Right. The next track is another song of yours, John, that's called Because, and
Yes.
I seem to detect some sort of classic overtone in this. Is this by design, or...?
Yeah, sort of, Yoko plays classical piano, and she was playing one day, and I don't know whether it was Beethoven or something. I said, give me them chords backwards, and I wrote Because on it, on top of it.
Moonlight Sonata.
Oh, Moonlight Sonata, backwards.
Backwards.
Something like that, yeah.
It also had the harmony structure is also slightly different from some of the harmonies that you've used in recording before.
I wouldn't know, I mean, I just asked George Martin or whoever's around, said, what's the alternative to thirds and fifths? They're the only ones I know. And he plays them on the piano. We say, oh, we'll have that one, So I couldn't tell you what they are. I just know it's harmony.
Right. Well, this is also a very long song, isn't it?
It isn't, It's only, it's amazing. It's the shortest one on the album. It's only about 2 minutes or something.
Oh, well, of course, it sort of gets into the. I see what you mean.
It stops and then it goes into the long, the medley.
Ah, right. Now the medley comes next on the LP, and this is really a sort of a whole piece of music joined. Repetitive phrases come back all the way through it.
Yeah. It was also a good way of getting rid of bits of songs we'd had for years,
So this is again was a collective piece of songwriting. It wasn't any.
Yeah. I mean, George and Ringo, in fact, sort of wrote bits of it as we did it, Literally, sort of in between bits and breaks into it. Paul would say, we've got 12 bars here, let's fill it in, and we'd fill it in on the spot.
I've noticed a couple of the songs also linked together. Some of the characters.
Oh yeah, well that was just luck, I mean, the bit my contribution to it is Polythene Pam and here Sun King and me and Mr. Mustard, so we just juggled them about till it made vague sense. And in Polythene Pam, me and Mr. Mustard, I said his sister Pam, and originally it said his sister Shirley in the lyrics, so I changed it to Pam and make it sound like it had something to do with it.
Okay, well, we'll get into the first part of the medley, which is, as we get into this is a sort of another scene with Paul and this piano.
Yes.
First part. Was this Paul on piano?
Oh, he's always on piano. You can't get him off.
Okay, you never give me money.
Yeah, right.
Well, the next track in the medley is the Sun King song.
That's where we pretend to be Fleetwood Mac for a few minutes.
And then you get into a sort of a language thing, which I couldn't figure out if it was some type of...
it's cod,
yeah.
See, we did the introductions, we call it the Sun Riff, the little instrumental bit that's like Fleetwood Mac before we start singing. Then we did it again on the end, so when we came to sing it, to make them different, so it wasn't just the same riff, we just started joking, sing Cuando para mucho. So we just made up, Paul knew a few Spanish words from school, so we just strung any Spanish words that sounded vaguely like something. And of course we got chickaferdy, and that's a Liverpool expression, just like sort of, it doesn't mean anything, but it's chickaferdy. The one we missed, we should have had paranoia, but we forgot all about it. We used to call ourselves Los Paranoias.
And so then what was the sort of any idea behind Sun King? Does it have any sort of symbolism, or is it just...
No, it was just half a song I had, which I never finished, which was one way of getting rid of it without ever finishing it, And it's sort of, the sort of medley went, and then we sort of wanted a change of atmosphere, so then here comes the Sun King, why not? And here he comes, and everybody's happy, and Cuando para mucho, etc., etc.
Paranoias.
Yeah,
okay.
we might get a hit with that in those countries, if they take it off separate.
Could be a smash in Brazil.
Yeah, right. And cake and eat it is another nice line too, because they have that in Spanish, quejan or something. So we just have cake and eat it.
Me and Mr. Mustard reminded me of the sort of songs that are probably about the Revolver time, I think. It was that sort of tempo and that sort of...
Yeah.
Was it a song that you had from way back, or...?
I wrote it in India, so that was pre the Beatles double album, so it's that old. And it was from some newspaper clipping that the title was Mean Mr. Mustard, about some guy had done something or other. You know, but of course the story's nothing like him, you know, it was like the newspaper title heading.
Yeah, because in fact it's quite short as well.
Yeah, well that's another half a song which I never finished, you know, so I put it in there.
Well, she came in through the bathroom window. I read somewhere in the press that this was an idea that Paul had about, I think, during one of the American tours, a fan
no, it
did
was,
this. Was it? Any truth in that?
It was when Paul and I went to America to publicise Apple about 2 years ago to announce the opening. And we were just in the flat we were staying in, and he just came out with that line, you know. She came in through the bathroom window, so he'd had it for years, so he eventually finished it.
And so this was another song that was sort of started back then?
Yeah, most of them are, you know, except for the You Never Give Me Your Money and Golden Slumbers.
On to Golden Slumbers and strings this time, John.
Yeah. Paul laid the strings on after we'd finished most of the basic track, you know.
Yeah, it seems to me that I think a lot of people had expected that you would perhaps become more complex with, you know, musical additions on this LP, but...
well, I don't know what, you know, they shouldn't expect anything. I personally can't be bothered with strings and things, you know. I like to do it with the group, you know.
Yeah, because...
whatever, or with electronics, you know. I can't be able to go into that hassle with musicians and all that bit, you know, it's such a drag, you know, trying to get them together, but Paul digs that, so that's his scene.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was up to him where he went with the violins, really, what he did with them. And I think he just wanted a straight kind of backing, you know, nothing freaky, you know. The White Trash have made a single out of this, folks.
And, well, have they used strings on it? Or?
Yeah, they've used strings, and they've done some... It's pretty similar to the track we did, except they've done some nice things with a big organ, like a church organ playing a solo or something.
That is also rather different for them, because they've been enormously sort of gutsy and...
yeah, well, they've done it quite gutsy, you know. The song is sort of vaguely gospel-y, in a way. You know, sleep little darling, don't you cry, all that bit is a bit gospel-y.
And were any of you involved with the production of this? Or?
Not of the White Trash, no, they did it completely. I don't know who produced it, you know. But they had a good start, the Beatles album.
Yes, it's true, so it's...
But they've done a good job of it, I hope they get a hit. You know.
Okay, Carry That Weight.
It's really like the Maxwell Silver Hammer story again, really, like we've all got a great load to carry, you know. Well, that's part of Golden Slumbers, really.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. It's a sort of a logical follow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of the one song, really. That's the sort of chorus of Golden Slumbers.
And this has also been covered by somebody, I read.
Well, no, White Trash has done... we keep going back to this all the time, yeah. But they've done Golden Slumbers, including Carry That Weight, you know, as the one song.
Oh, I see. Right. And was this one that you all wrote, or was this a...
No, it's Paul's line.
This is Paul's line. Fine.
As far as I know, you know.
Nobody's told you otherwise.
No, I mean, it could be George or Ringo for all I know, but I presume it's Paul.
We sort of moved fairly logically to the end, which was just a way to finish it up, wasn't it?
Get out of that.
Yeah.
So we got
a way to close the show.
Yes.
And there's really not much more to be said about that, but we will come back after we...
What about Her Majesty?
Well, why don't we play the end first, and then...
okay, right.
Well, then we'll let the silence run and do that.
Oh, yeah, so you're going to do it properly, okay.
Well, Her Majesty's a very fine girl, and one day I'm going to make her mine. It's got to be a fairly strong line, I think. Actually, when the double LP was released, at the time I did a similar program with Paul.
Yeah.
He played this to me.
Oh, did he?
At that time, yeah. In fact, it was on that tape, when we were sort of just getting levels and things. And,
I see. Well, I think he did it again for this.
Yes, well, I'm sure he did, but he decided to sort of throw it away.
Yeah, he's had it round. You know, we always have tons of bits and pieces, you know, lying around for years. I've got stuff that I wrote around Pepper, you know, just still, because you start to lose interest in it a bit after you've had it for years, so I've never recorded it.
Do you ever sort of consider, you know, giving this material to anybody else to record?
Yes, I keep meaning to. There's just one particular song I keep meaning to make a demo of, you know, to give to somebody or other, but I never get round to it, you know. So no doubt somebody will hound me for it now.
Yes, I'm sure they will. The fact that Her Majesty isn't listed on the sleeve is that any particular reason?
We like to have a joke at the end, you know, or a surprise, like on the end of what was it, Pepper or the Beatles? The Beatles double. Just something on.
There was one on the end of Pepper, I can remember.
Yeah, and wasn't the
which was something at double speed?
Yeah, was that the one everybody thought was something obscene?
Yes, that's right.
It never was, you know.
All sorts of conjecture
if
about
you play
that.
it backwards and all that.
Yeah, all that scene. Yeah.
Well, we listened to it backwards. It seemed to say something obscene, but we had no idea. It's just one of those things. So this is another one of them, you know.
Okay, John, thanks very much for giving us the time.
It's a pleasure. I'll enjoy listening to myself in bed.
Fine.
Listen to the album.
Just before we close, you can perhaps let us know about the next for you and Yoko, which will be the wedding LP.
We've got a wedding album, it's called, you know, coming out in the middle of October, and it's got a lot of pictures and cartoons and press cuttings and things like that written about us there, and some pretty frantic sounds on it. On one side is our heartbeats and us two yelling, you know, that's the description of it, but it really makes your hair stand on end. So you'll hear that in October, you know.
Fine. And a single in Britain for the Beatles, is that anywhere near the drawing board yet?
Well, if there's something and come together and goes out in the States, it might come out here too, you know, because usually we don't normally have singles in the States without having them here. But I don't know, it's all in the air, you know. Well, I'm making a Plastic Ono single, if that's of any interest to you.
Apple is becoming terribly productive all of a sudden.
Well, we have so many songs, you know, we've got to get them out somewhere or other. And it's nicer to do them yourself, actually. I prefer doing my own songs and giving them to somebody else. Because half of them, it's only the way we make it happen. Otherwise, it's a pretty... nothing happens to the song, you know. If you gave it away without doing the arrangement, you could kill it, you know. We'd either have to record the whole song and the person ourselves to get it to sound like we imagine it, to give it the full potential, or just trust to luck.
Fine. John, thank you very much.
A pleasure, Tony.